Yeah.
The video. I'm sorry you missed the second half of the video. No, on a serious note, this was a song by the German pop band Scooter, and the song was called Hypa Hypa. And those of you here in the audience who've been to Amaze before, or those of you who are a bit older, they might remember that this was a big hit single many years ago. Some of you might not, the youngest people among you might not believe it, but actually, I checked Wikipedia, and this was number 2 in Austria, 28 in Belgium, Finland number 4, Germany is number 2, Italy number 5, and Spain was number 1.
Viva España! Woo!
Yeah, and this huge hit, this song came out in May 1994.
That's funny because I actually was released in June 1994 as well.
You were released
I was released in June 1994.
Wow, you see? Maybe you were, okay, we're not going to talk about, okay. Anyway, so, okay, yeah, let's talk about serious stuff. Yeah, welcome, let's introduce ourselves.
All right, hi everyone, I'm Marina Díez. I'm an emotional game designer, game director at VTF Games. I'm a filmmaker, I'm an adventure capitalist, a BizDev. I also play guitar and sing sometimes. I'm an Italian and German philologist.
True.
And so I think that not so many people know about me is that I'm also a specialist in Italian medieval literature.
Wow, you have you do the brand, the hats, the brand?
Yes, I also have like a fashion brand that is called Taco Surf. That it's an unfinished project, like, you know, game development stuff.
That's it?
That's it. What about you, Lorenzo?
My name is Lorenzo Pilia, and I was fired last month. That's it. No, it's true, it's true. It's true, if you want to give me money or hire me, it's okay. No, on a serious note, my name is Lorenzo Pilia, and my favorite color is yellow. So today we're here together for hyper talks. Probably you know the format. Each talk is 5 minutes each. We have 10 talks by 10 different speakers.
Actually, Lorenzo, I don't know.
What?
Maybe you should double check because I think the number is not quite right.
I don't know. Zoraida, what do you think? Is it 10 speakers? No?
No, I think we have 13 talks and 14 speakers.
Yeah, and now the session is not going to be 90 minutes, it's going to be 6 hours. So the award show is going to start at 2 a.m. Okay, enough bad jokes. So you do the serious stuff, I do the bad jokes. Let's get started. So our first speakers, when it was in February, I was here in Berlin at this theater called How, which is one of the partners of Amaze as well, Habel am Ufer. And I was watching a performance by this Berlin video game collective called Fantasia Malware. And after the performance, I was talking with some of the attendees, and I was talking with this person. They looked very interesting. I asked them, what's your name? And they said, my name is Spiders. And I was like, wow, that's cool. I don't love spiders, but that's a cool name. And I asked, what do you do, Spiders? And they said, me and my friends were making a tool, which is a bit like Bitsy, but in 3D. And I was like, oh, wow. And my next question was, do you want to give a hypertalk? That's it. And that's why they're here today. That's how you do curation, you know? You just ask the first cool people you meet. So without any further ado, let's welcome on stage riprip.
Thank you so much. What's going on in back here?
Nothing.
Hi, I'm Spiders. This is Robin. We don't have time for clapping. We have to get on with this. Sorry. Yeah. Welcome to a performance lecture called Pining for Eurojank. Today, we will be presenting to you 3 propositions that you should embrace in your own game making in order to kill video games. Proposition 1. Make games that are a fucky gender. Okay. Okay, so in Half-Life 2, there was this speedrun movement called bunny hopping. Maybe you've heard of it. Basically, you jump a lot while moving, which stops the ground from imparting friction on your movement speed. Basically, you go like really fast if you like jump a lot. So they try to fix this for the orange box version by giving you like a little negative speed bump each time you jump, so no more bunny hopping. But speedrunners figured out that when you turn around while you're jumping, so you're like jumping backwards now basically, that like little negative speed bump actually gets added to your movement vector. So now it's like actually accelerating you in the backwards direction, so you go like really, really fast. This is called accelerated backhopping. And it's not only a much more intricate intervention in the system design of Half-Life 2, it's also a lot more fun. This is a good thing. So, when we say make games that are a fucky gender, we are not talking about games where you can select the fucky gender for your character, although that's good. We're not talking about games where you like have this little slider where you can select like a fucky gender, although that's really good. We actually want that game to be that janky little slider. This is called drag. Thank you. This is called camp.
Proposition 2. Thank you. Flatness is a weapon. This is our new open world video game. And I give you a few seconds to explore it. Flatness is a sharp implement which denies appropriation. Flatness unsettles, and pointy edges inflict more damage than rounded edges.
Proposition 3.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. We don't have time.
Thank you so much, everyone. If you want to check out our engine, we will be presenting at the open screens at 4.
At 4.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much. We want to send greetings to the people that are watching the Hyper Talks from the other building in Betonhalle. Thanks for following us. So our next speaker is Farfama. Farfama is a media artist currently based in Japan, specializing in experimental digital games. His work explores themes of awe, wonder, and playful joy, drawing inspiration from nature, ritual, and everyday observation. Please welcome him.
All right, hello everyone. So today I'm going to be talking about curation, specifically about hyper-focused video game creation in an age of abundance. So what do I mean by abundance? So last year, over almost 19,000 games were released on Steam alone. And not just Steam, you know, there's itch, there's Newgrounds, there's so many online platforms. And a lot of these go unnoticed. You know, no one plays them. They're noted as limited games. So no reviews, no plays. And this author asked, you know, can we have too many games? So what do you think? Can we have too many games? What do you think? No, of course not. Yes. So we live in an age of, you know, it's so easy to make games now. You know, we have incredible accessible tools and a diverse set of creators making everything and anything. And it's really noted by Anna Anthropy in their book, Rise of the Video Game Zinesters. So it's really overwhelming. There's a lot of games. We want to discover where they are. We want to highlight these diverse and interesting games. So one way of doing that, of course, is creation. And I believe there's multiple approaches to creation. So I think we should start commissioning creators with niche domain knowledge. Paying money for people that, you know, have a very specific interest and a specific theme. Profit should not be the main goal of that at all. I feel like when you add profit to creation, it compromises the type of creations that you see. And no algorithms or AI or anything like that. So completely hand-picked creation. Algorithms and AI, they have their own biases. And on top of that, no corporate creations. Recently, I saw a creation on Steam. It was like LGBTQ plus representation in games. And there was like Call of Duty and all these war games, which is fucking wild, yeah. So there's already a lot of examples of people doing this. So, of course, we have Indiepocalypse by Andrew. We have a lot of people that have their own blogs and websites, focus on their specific interests. Of course, we have Backlog with a lot of interesting collections of games, bloggers, itch collections. So people are doing this already, game devs, game hobbyists, and so yeah, that's what I'm going to talk about. So there's something I'm creating called Exhibit Play, which is focused on hyper-specific curation. So right now we have 4 curations: virtual museums, games about resistance, rebellion, and revolution, game worker cooperatives around the world, and Asian diaspora. So the way this works is there's a description of the creation, then there's covers, some tags, and interesting thing about the tags is you can curate the curations. So for this one, you could find you know, virtual museums about sculpture or street art or surrealism or architecture. And going back to the last one, so like Asian diaspora, you could find games about you know, Indian, Canadian experiences and find Venba, or Korean American and find games like Butterfly Soup. So yeah, clicking on one of the covers gets more information, description, some more metadata. And at the end of the creation, there's a dig deeper section which highlights, you know, research, articles, books, podcasts, anything related to the collection. So yeah, that's the structure of a creation. So focus, very specific, at least 5 games, and more can be added via crowdsourcing. Not tied to any specific games platform. So games from Steam, Newgrounds, itch, anywhere really. And all forms of play, so digital, analog, really anything. So yeah, some future creation ideas. So games focus on parents and parenting, documentary style games, games set in apartments, such as the Berlin apartment, which is being designed by Marina. Mega structure games, so games with a more architectural focus. Intimate interactions, like Sex with Friends by Freelize, which is at the Panke later tonight. And your idea. So if you have a very specific interest, a specific niche that you want to highlight, you know, get in contact with me and we could create a really interesting creation and add it to the website. So this is still in beta, but we do have a website you could follow. You could support us. Any money that's thrown at us goes towards curators to curate some interesting collections. We have Blue Sky, and you could follow me at Farfama in most places. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I didn't expect to see a game that I'm designing in one of the HyperTalks. That was exciting.
Forgot to mention, no, actually, I forgot to write it down. Also, Farfama, also co-organizer of the games meetup with Nomi. Yeah? Yeah, cool, good one. I want to say that. I want to give a shout out to Tokyo. Let's go to Tokyo. Yeah, you do it everywhere, the games meetup, but yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so our next speaker is actually quite special to me. I started my career almost 7 years ago. I moved from Spain to London in 2018 for studies, and before that, because there is no jobs as an Italian-German philologist, as you could probably imagine, not especially in Spain, I was one day working in my marketing job that was my destiny in that moment, and I typed on Google search, how to become a game designer. And the first article that came up was written by an Italian game developer living in London. And I read that, and then it's how I decided to apply for a master's degree in London, and I moved there. And then this person was actually Federico Fasce, that is our next speaker. Fede is like my brother. He's one of the people that made me be in the games industry, so I'm always grateful for that. Fede is a game designer from Italy with 25 years of experience in games and interactive media. He's a strong advocate of personal games, and he firmly believes that getting more people making games is the way to save the industry and push the form of expression forward. Please welcome Fede.
Thank you. Wow. Marina also forgot to say that I'm a Michelin star chef. No, that's not true. But yeah, I want to talk to you today about fine dining, which is totally on topic, and I think it's very important. Also because I'm Italian, I always talk about food. What do you want from me? It's like that, right? So let's start from the start. I think we should look at games from the point of view of the experience. And what does it mean? Well, it means that the thing that inspires me the most when I talk about games is just to look at game designers and where they come from. Like Shigeru Miyamoto famously said that he really likes roaming around in the Japan countryside, and that's what brought to us the Legend of Zelda series. And I think we can learn from other kind of experience design activities and bring them to our games. And so I started looking at fine dining because I'm Italian, I love food, blah, 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 as experience design. Like I've been privileged enough to be able to do some fine dining experiences, and I realized that they look a lot like games, and I'm obsessed with this specific chef, Massimo Bottura, who is a guy who really go for that. It's like this idea of telling who you are in edible bites, it just really resonates with me because it's really just about what I want to talk about and what I can do with games. I want to tell who I am in gameplay bites, basically. And so I looked a little bit into what is fine dining, and it all starts, of course, with the ingredients, right? They need to be fresh, they need to be the right ingredients. It's like the game mechanics, okay? And we all know why. In game design, we're all obsessed with game mechanics, what game mechanics are in your game, and it's the first thing that we need to think about. And then we combine them into the dish. The ingredients become something more than just the sum of their parts. This is like a very successful dish by Aston Blumenthal. That is not at all an egg. It's a completely different thing. But anyway, there's more to that, right? Because there is the experience. When you go to a fine dining experience, it's not just about one single dish, but it's about a journey through the ideas and the story, the personal story of the chef. And I think that it's this everything else what really matters, what we really want to do and to work with. Because to me, experiences are ad hoc languages. They are not texts. They are languages that we create, and we tell people, speak this language now. and understand that, and you will know me better. And games, of course, are experiences. And one thing that resonates with me a lot is this quote from Holly Gramazio, which is this idea that when you make a game, you fold an experience that you had in a compact way and give to someone else to unfold. And that is like, I think it's the best definition of a game that I ever seen in my life. I love this so much. It's just really on point. And so the idea to me is like that if you want to build better ad hoc languages, we need to look at different ways humans make experiences. And so that's why I was looking at food, not just because I love food. And also like when I cook for hobby, for people. When I cook for people, I just don't want to feed people. I want to start a conversation with them. I want to give them an experience. I come from a city in Italy called Genoa, who is famous for having invented pesto. And I always talk about that. That is like part of my culture and it's what I want to bring to people. And so mechanics, so the ingredients are important, but they're just only a small part of the experience. And when we think about mechanics, games become formalistic. They become a thing where you need to have bosses, you need to have levels and stuff like that. And it's like, well, what about no? Like, I want to give you an experience. And so let's get past the formalism of game mechanics and think about what we want to tell people. And that's it. Thank you.
Stay here. Thank you, Fede. What about let's get pasta?
Let's also get pasta, absolutely.
Yeah, man, I wanna eat now pesto. Thank you very grazie. Yes, thank you to all the Italians. I think Pietro from Santa Ragione is watching us on the stream. I know, he was texting me now. He says hello. If you want more Italians, I believe there is today a panel with the Italian Institute of Culture, 5 here, on the other stage at 5. Yes, go. Coming up next, we have 2 people who are very close to my heart, Nomi and Victor, both of whom once upon a time used to live here in Berlin, and then who both left, you know. Back in the day in Berlin, people used to come and go all the time, and now they only go, they don't come. It's impossible to find a flat in Berlin, unfortunately. And yeah, with Nomi and Victor, with Nomi, many adventures, many projects, and with Victor specifically, together we also worked on a series of game jams. Back in the day, we organized the Civic Game Jam here in Berlin, and yeah, I don't enjoy organizing jams anymore, but you two still do. And yeah, and today you're gonna be talking about the mod jam, so let's give them a big applause.
Thank you, Lorenzo.
Do you want to do this or do you want to do this? I can do this. Can do this?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Hello. We're going to talk about mod jam. I'm Nomi.
I'm Victor.
Yeah, we should actually, yeah, well, this is fine. These are things that we're going to talk about. What is mod jam? So it's like a game jam, like it's normal game jam, but instead of like making games from scratch because it takes ages, we mod games.
Yeah, and it's kind of like fine dining where you use the leftovers, Fede, and you make a surprising new dish by adding some spices, putting in the oven, your risotto becomes arancini, whatever. That's the mod jam. Wait, no, that was just...
Sorry. Hey. Oh,
yeah,
also.
And we want to reclaim agency because in this age of algorithm and AI, mod jam is a way of tweaking and improving. You open possibilities within an existing system, and you can change the world using its own rules and constraints.
Also, I forgot to mention, but like, if you want to explore alternative narratives and stuff, like, you know, like metaverse, not the multiverse, whatever. Shout out to Jazz. Like, we wanted to have some like experts, Jazz, like mega expert person. We also tried out some tools. This is called Eureka. Don't know.
Yeah. And we learned that because we used Doom for our first event, we focused with one game and one theme. We learned that using old systems makes you very meditative. And as someone said, they had it really hard back then.
We did it in Parson Game Jam in London at this place called New Speak House.
And
Shout out to Ed.
Shout out to Ed.
This is us. We both wear sunglasses. I had it on my head, and he had it on his eyes. And when I was like doing some other research for like when I was working for Amaze, like I was looking for some examples, and I found this amazing. I forgot to change the color of the thing; it's not legible, but amazing article by Robert Young, who made a bunch of cool games, and I recommend it. I'm not gonna like read everything, but repeat after me: Mozza Special. Thank you.
And it's also part of remix culture. I don't know if you're familiar with the idea of détournement by the Situationists, but basically they did it with TV, the Society of the Spectacle. And here's a quote by a musician who said that he preferred the chopped and screwed version that was used in the film Moonlight instead of the original one. He'd rather perform the chopped and screwed remix on stage.
And we did, like, before we did the proper game jam, we did the trial version where we didn't really, like, mod the jam, but we kind of, like, made this poster, and, like, we kind of, like, thought, like, this will set the... And then we, last month, with the proper mod jam, and it was called the mod jam #1, Dada Doom. And in Dada Doom, we basically modded Doom. We were also inspired by Dada. And this picture has nothing to do with like Doom or Dada, but we found it on the internet and we thought like, that's cool, like we're gonna just do this.
Okay, and here's the video.
Merci de bien vouloir patienter, votre jeu Doom va bientôt commencer. Avez-vous pensé à télécharger notre application? Cela pourrait raccourcir votre durée d'attente. Sinon, restez en ligne et votre jeu commencera très vite.
Is it gonna stop? Here's the apples and conditions. Okay.
Okay. So how we did it, we had code of conduct because this is important, and it was one-day game jam, and we decided that we're gonna work on like same project together instead of like having a bunch of games, and because of that, like a presentation was basically playing what we made. Yeah,
we could have done multiple maps because the Doom format is 32, but we only did 1.5. But we want to keep the knowledge based, do more documentation, run a separate workshop next time.
So there was like a bit of like learning curves and everything because like not everyone is a Doom mod expert. Like neither of us are. And like for the next time, like we want to do some workshop, like either like evening session in person or like maybe we're gonna do online, like 1 week preparation kind of thing, like where we have this like platform where we, like co-learn, trying to share like information and stuff and get ready for the game jam.
Mm-hmm.
And
And then we want to stay on Doom for a few more events. We have more juice to squeeze out of Doom, and we want to build a community. You're welcome to join us.
Yeah, and
this is how you join us.
This is how you join us. So we have a website that Victor is like mostly working on, and I also run the community called Games, which is a games meetup about games. We have a Discord channel for Mod Jam, so if you want to join us on a games community, you can do this. But you can also sign up on modjam.nationbuilder.com as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. No, you spoiled my joke. No, come on. So you have to read the speaker notes. Yeah, I read the joke. The room is very full. We need to check something because of security. Wait, and then, what is it? Is everybody on the floor?
Is everybody on the floor?
That was my joke. I thought I put it later. But anyway. Okay, that's it. Bye, thank you.
So, Our next speaker, it's also a very good friend of mine. That's how I do curation. Julie Buchanan is an award-nominated composer and sound designer for games currently living in Berlin. She has music and/or sound in games such as Say No More, Godfall, Rocket League, Sound Dodger 2, and more. Please welcome Julie.
I have to open the PDF. You can say. You want to say something? You can sing a song.
Hello. I normally work alone in a small room in the dark with headphones, so this is a little unnerving, but I'm going to do my best. There's so many people.
Here we got the slides, and here we got the sounds. Make them nicely open for you.
If you laugh, even if I don't say something funny, if you laugh, it might help me.
Let's test one sound.
Okay.
Perfect, we got it.
Can you hear that? Did everyone hear that?
Yeah. And
Thank you. Thank you.
And you go here for the slides, okay, to change the slides. Yeah.
Yes, okay. Cool, all right. So, like Marina said, I do game audio. This is not what I do, but I'm gonna do it today. And one of the fun things about game audio is that you find yourself researching things that you never thought you would research, like fish sounds. So you might be asking yourself, do they actually make sound? And I hope so, because that's what my presentation is about. Yes, they do, in fact. So I'm going to tell you how. So there are two main ways that fish make sounds, and the first one is called stridulation, which is a sound that they make when they rub like two bony or hard body parts together. Could be like teeth or claws. And the other method is by using two body parts called the sonic muscle and the swim bladder. And most bony fish have a swim bladder, which is an organ that they use to control their buoyancy underwater. And right next to that organ is a muscle called the sonic muscle. And the sonic muscle, when contracted or flexed against the swim bladder, can cause a variety of sounds that could be like clicks, thumps, growls, purrs, etc. And then depending on the rate of the muscle contraction, the sounds can be really short and sporadic, or they can happen rapidly in succession. And another cool thing about swim bladders is most fish have two, but some also have one. And there's like two different types of fish. There's fish that fill their swim bladders with gas from like air when they go to the surface. And then there's fish that can somehow like take gas from like their blood to fill their swim bladder. So I don't know, that's pretty cool. So what do they sound like? Disclaimer, none of these sounds here are mine, so I've got all the credits here, okay? I'm gonna play you some sounds of what real fish sound like. So this is, oops. That is a mistake. But the first one was, I'm gonna try again. So the first one was, this is a fish sound. It's not. This is. And this is another grouper. This is a stoplight parrotfish. This is a painted goby. This is another painted goby. This is a clownfish. And one more clownfish. Cool. So they do, in fact, make sounds. But unfortunately, fish sounds is not the most heavily researched topic in marine biology, so there are not so many fish sounds available, and especially not for commercial use. But some biologists think that at some point they will be able to categorize fish only by the sounds they make, and I think for some fish it's already possible, so that's also very cool. But if you're like me and you work in game audio and you find yourself on a game where you have to make a lot of fish sounds, how do you actually do that? These are how. You can use any of these things to make a fish sound, apparently. So you can use bird sounds, synths, human voices, drums, chopsticks, mouth pops, mouth bubbles, wood breaks, gulping, rocks, rattling sounds, and any sort of tonal squeak like glass or rubber, or also balloon sounds. And also, probably like 500 other things that I haven't listed here. You can probably make a fish sound from it. So, I'm going to play you some examples of fish sounds that I have made now to compare. So this is a clownfish, and that's from a bird. And this is a choral grouper, and this is from a synth. And this is a green chromis. This is from a woodblock. This is a yellow boxfish, and this is a human voice. This is, in fact, my voice. And this is a shark-nosed goby. This is also using voice, also my voice. And finally, we have a fox-faced rabbitfish, which is a different type of bird. Fun fact, you can also use birds to make really good lizards and dinosaurs. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Julie.
Thank you, Julie. Yes. Yeah, tonight, Julie is going to play at Panke, a 2-hour set of choral grouper. Wait. There's going to be 2 hours of like, and then a second hour. It's good. It's going to be a good show. Oof. Okay. Yeah. So the room is very full, and we got asked to check something from the security.
Is everybody on the floor?
Repetition, in jokes. You have to keep. Then it gets funny. You do it 1, 2, 3 times.
He couldn't get over it.
Yeah, exactly. Our next speaker, Ian Stewart, a community manager and games marketer. He's the communication director for Crinkle Cut Games, the developers of Discounty, which is being nominated and showcased in the downstairs here in the exhibition area, and previously worked for Fine Games and for Studio Fitzbin, where also I work, and where we both got fired. And let's welcome Ian Stewart on stage.
Hi, I'm Ian. This is how gay are you allowed to sound in marketing materials for your game. Hey. So, as Lorenzo said, I'm a community manager. Are there any other community managers or gays here? Okay, that's good. This one's for you. So I got my start in the games industry just like 2.5 years ago, and it was making TikToks. That was my first objective. And I, at first, avoided using my own voice because, well, I sound really gay. And gay voice, as you may know, is a phenomenon in which gay people tend to have different speech patterns from straight people. And this goes beyond just types of vocabulary or even cultural norms. It's also not just a stereotype. This has been studied by linguists. It's a thing, okay? But eventually, I did have to give in and start recording my voice, and it didn't take long before the comments started coming in. Narrator's a little zesty. So this is a fun new slang word. If you haven't heard it before, this is sort of like the cool, fun new way for young people to call you a, you know? And not a lot of people know this, but many gamers are homophobic. And I will say that these days now, okay, I'm over 30, I'm very secure in my identity, I have a lot of pride, but in my job, it's not just about me, right? So in my first community management job, I became very conscious of my voice in a way that I hadn't been since I was a teenager. But luckily, my first job was for Fine Games, which is a studio that had the mission to make games for women by women, and the game that we were making was very feminist and very queer. So there I realized, like, okay, I didn't need to sweat it. I could just brush off the hate, embrace it even, because the people who didn't like how I sound weren't gonna play our game anyway. So if you're working on a queer feminist game, you can sound pretty gay. But that was only temporary, and after Fine, I started working on many other types of games, and each time I felt the need to reevaluate my approach. And I want to be clear here before I go farther, none of my employers or clients have ever once said or implied anything about my voice or that I should alter it in any way. It's just very common for gay people to be sensitive about how their voice is perceived, okay? So at the end of the day, I'm responsible for representing a game to the public, and that's something I take very seriously. So for each new game I work on, I have to consider what that target audience is going to be, and are they okay with hearing a gay person talk? So I'm very lucky now, as Lorenzo mentioned, I'm working on Discounty, which you can play downstairs. It's a sort of a cozy game with a satirical twist, and I will say the cozy game community online is generally very progressive, and I haven't really had any issues there. So if you're making a cozy game, which I know some people here are, I would say you can sound reasonably gay. Just maybe not quite as queeny. So that's great, but there are also cases where I felt I had to tone it down a little. So whenever I've worked on more action-oriented games that have combat or difficult gameplay as a focus, the audience has had a less welcoming vibe, let's say. So what to do? Okay, let's break it down to a granular level. According to the linguists who have studied this kind of thing, the main characteristics of gay male speech compared to straight men are that we have much higher pitch variation in our speech, okay? So higher highs and lower lows. And in English, we also say the sounds A, E, U, and S with longer duration. We're also much more likely to articulate every sound, which is why you can understand me so well. So, what do? Let's do a little exercise. So I'm gonna give you a very, very generic pitch for a very, very generic game on TikTok, the sort I would recommend to any game dev getting started on the platform. So first, using my totally natural voice. Hey, we're Amazing Games. We quit our jobs at Lockheed Martin to learn game development and finally make our dream game. Would you wish list it? Oh, no, you're too kind, you're too kind. Okay, so imagine though, if I were to interview to be the next community manager for Call of Duty or FIFA or whatever, you know, my dream jobs. But to get that job, I'd have to play it straight, you know, shorten the vowels, don't modulate pitch, and do not articulate, okay? This is so embarrassing. Something like, hey, we're Amazing Games. We quit our jobs at Lockheed Martin to learn game development and finally make our dream game. Okay, not totally convincing, but hey, it's the best I can do and it works. So maybe this whole thing seems kind of silly, but here's the thing. A lot of people really hate gay people. And in this and every context, it's important to know how gay we are allowed to sound. Because even though repressing your gay voice is an act of self-hatred, internalized homophobia, and your straight voice kind of sucks anyway, you might sell more video games. So my name is Ian. You can find me at Eastu on Blue Sky. Thank you so much. Bye.
our next speaker is Kanishai Kadirova. Kanishai is a 2D art student from Kyrgyzstan, making small games and learning the ropes of game development, currently studying at Portal College. Today, she's going to tell us a quick story of how she made her way to a maze.
Hi. So my name is Kanishai. Does it work? Oh, right, now it works. Hi again. My name is Kanishai, and I'm a 2D art student from Central Asia, more specifically from Bishkek, Kyrgyzstan. Nice to meet you. So I don't have a studio or cool games yet, but what I do have is my own experience and a bit of passion. Trying to build a career in a place that sorry, doesn't really have. Thank you. One more time. Trying to build a career in a field that your country doesn't really have is exciting, but it's not easy. So a bit of the background. When I was in high school, I already knew I wanted to make art for games. But in my country, and let's be frank, in all of Central Asia, there were no universities, no colleges, nothing. I didn't know what to do. So I ended up at a local university just doing something safe. That was frustrating. And by the second year, I was thinking of taking a gap year, like find myself. But me and my mom saw an ad. A game dev college was opening in our city, and that was great. Like, I immediately dropped out. So, this is me and my college. You can see. I didn't came here alone. I have my classmate with me. Her name is Katya. And at the very beginning, when we were doing our first games, we drew together. So in the very beginning, we made some visual novels. The first one, the top one, is a visual novel about a kitty that was stolen by aliens. It was made on Twine. I'm never making games on Twine again. So the second game is Abyss. It was made for Ludum Dare 56. The theme was tiny creatures, and our tiny creature is a man. He's a scientist that goes, into the ocean, that dives into the ocean to find the truth of his father's death. Here's the gameplay. I'm sorry, it's in Russian. Well, thank you. It was the very beginning, so it was pure chaos. For some reason, I was like the team leader, and they didn't listen to me. After that, this year in March, there was the first game jam in Kyrgyzstan. And I think it's a big step for our country. And we were making games in a shared space. Like, we were there working, arguing, creating something together. And lots of people showed up, and I was really surprised. Sorry. The theme for you guessed it, it's another visual novel that we made for the game jam. The game jam's theme was home, so it's weird, but we made a game about an officer that drives drunk people home. Yeah, and after the game jam, 2 weeks later, there was a game con, and our game didn't take any place. But Somehow I won a trip to the Maze Festival for making a video of the game jam, basically. The room was packed, and I thought, were all these people hiding somewhere all this time? Because I never met so many people that were interested in game dev in Bishkek, like at all. The point I'm trying to make is game development in Central Asia is still very new. And in Kyrgyzstan as well, there are no big studios. Even Google doesn't acknowledge us, yeah. So, but there are people, and there's interest, there's ideas, there's passion, and that passion has brought me today. And I know many of you are working on cool projects. So if you're looking for an artist or just someone to collaborate on something small, I would love to talk. I'm open. Yeah. Thank you. So that's it.
Oh. Kana, well done. I mean, you told me yesterday it's your first time out of your country, right? Yeah. Wow, okay. And also, when you gave a talk, and I get emotional, you know. No, I mean, you give a talk. I mean, yeah, maybe in a foreign language, in a big audience. I mean, it's not easy. So yeah, well done. And also, you brought snacks. You still have snacks? So an additional reason to go talk with Kana, she brought snacks. So yeah, and yeah, let's do it. Oh, what, did they put another joke here? No, wait a sec. Ah, no, yes, okay. Maybe. Okay, some
history.
Some hyper history. Wait, but is there a sound?
Is everybody on the floor?
Yeah, there was a sound, yes. Okay. Yeah, a bit of hyper history of the hyper talks. Do you have time? We have time, yeah, more or less, yes. No, we're going to be on time. No, hey, I promise. Yes, so hyper talks. So it all started in 2014. I remember back in the day, I think Torsten wanted to do Pechakucha. You know Pechakucha? I think you pronounce it this talk format where you have 5-minute talks and the slides advance every 20 seconds. But then we looked into it, and then you have to pay a fee if you want to do Pechakucha. There is a trademark. So Torsten was like, fuck that. We're going to do our own thing, and we're going to call them hyper talks. And yeah, big ideas, Torsten, but there was no the practical. How do we do 10 talks, 5 minutes each? And so I was like, well, we need to all run them on the same laptop, you know. So in order to make them run in 1 hour, and I said, well, let's use my machine, my laptop, and I'm the only one who knows how to make it work. So that's how I started hosting in 2014 the hyper talks. That's how it started, and I did it a few years, and then had enough of playing always hyper by scooter, and at some point, you know, I didn't want to be always on stage, and then I was like, I need somebody, you know, can be strong stage presence and great sense of humor. Well, it's not that hard to have better sense of humor than me, but yeah. And then this person was Masha Camino, and so then she hosted the Hyper Talks in 2019. Then COVID happened and nothing happened, and I think then 2022 you hosted again, then Janet and you co-hosted together, so you co-hosted, you helped out before, and now we're coming full circle, and now today Masha is gonna give a hyper talk, so let's welcome her on stage. I made a special animation. Look.
Thank you.
I put extra effort in her animation. I had to do one animation for each.
I appreciate this
yeah,
so
look
much.
What happened last night. Then Keynote was like running out of memory, and that never happened
like
to me.
the animations have a long history, and I'm
Yeah.
very excited to see what Keynote can do on this 15-year-old machine.
Yeah, thank you. Good luck.
Let's fucking go. Okay. Hello, I'm Masha, as they've said before. I had the privilege of hosting the Hyper Talks before, and this time I'm given one. So exciting. And I thought, okay, in times of great horror, I wanted to use my 5 minutes to descend even a little bit deeper, which I feel like is very on brand. And in turn, provide you with some pseudo-intellectual words of wisdom. And this is a real take it or leave it situation, and we do love those. So it does feel very strange and almost fourth wall breaking to give a Hyper Talk instead of announcing them this year. And thankfully, it only made me crash out like 3 times. So yeah, the last 1.5 years were simultaneously the worst and the best years of my life, I think. I've descended so deep that it seemed impossible to ever find my way back up again. But little did I know that the bottom was far from the eternal darkness and the end. Because while being down there, I met some of the most genuine, beautiful, and inspiring souls I ever had the pleasure to encounter, and they're still all around me. Cannot believe my luck. And so often what was brought us together was games, art, and the overall existential dread. And do you know, great segue, who are also great descenders? Sperm whales. So, I know, this was another animation Lorenzo hasn't seen yet in Keynote, so I'm happy to provide. It only does it once, so that's about it. And approximately once a year, when they reach the North Pole, the sperm whales, not Lorenzo and I, to protect their reproduction and their sanity, they descend there. And they can go as deep as 1,000 meters, and for all the Americans in the room, that's approximately 666 times me. Yes, thank you. It's a good number, I love that one. And when they are down there, they don't only wrestle with colossal squids, they can also sink into a very specific, let's call it, sound zone. It's what I love little facts, it's one of my favorite facts. And through the specific density of the temperature, the pressure, the salt level of the water, the layer gets extra compressed. That makes it possible for the whales to communicate with their other fellow whales over much greater distances than they usually can. So it's creating a communication network deep down in the ocean, connecting different worlds. And this zone is exactly how these events feels like to me. A unique, temporary, special, and devastatingly creative gathering. And so I want to remind you, and maybe to remember how to relearn how to get inspired. Because whenever I leave a maze, my heart feels so full with love for the art, our medium, and creation. And after all, I am still a game designer, I think. I'm also part of the fun employment group right now, so love that. But I still think I'm a game designer at times, and I know how easy it is to get lost in your own design and creations, just to forget how your game is supposed to feel, to make you feel, to make others feel where you want to go with that. And in order for you all to continue producing these beautiful pieces of art and in turn inspiring me, I want to remind you about the craft of getting inspired and how to build your own little repertoire of visceral reactions. And I will use that term very freely and as I please, so do not come at me. And as you can see, it is a very selfish endeavor, this talk, but it's about finding them even during your descent, because it is in fact not the end. And finding beauty and entertainment in the mundane is what we're wanting to do. So here's a list of moments, here's a list of moments I thought about when I was preparing this talk that are in my repertoire of visceral reactions. It can be good or bad, it can be whatever you make of it, really. So my first one is Wählscheiben. I wanted to use the German word very deliberately, but it is the thing in the telephone, some of you might still remember, where you go like, and that feels amazing, and I want my game to feel like that feels. A really good button click. These buttons just look very clickable. The kiss of someone who truly cares about you. The relief after a really good cry. Spotting a friend in the crowd. Catching your train just on time, having the perfect last bites, feeling the bone-shaking cringe of previous interactions of yours. I have so many of those, if you need any. Dropping something, catching it, being so surprised you caught it that you drop it again. And then trying to remember something. Oh, sorry, I went ahead. Now it's all gone. Button clicks, the kiss of the... Okay, sorry. Oh, I think I just did not put a picture. We'll make one up then. This is the first exercise. Trying to remember something, feeling it at the tip of your tongue, and then losing it again right away. And then, seeing someone say the most stupid thing out loud with the most confidence ever known to whalekind. Whoa, this is a strong one. Keep that. So what I want you to do is try to be present, remember those moments, translate those feelings into mechanics, into art, into characters, into sounds, or however you want to use them, really. Because this is what makes games made by humans even more unique and so meaningful. And I know that all of you have your own little repertoire of reactions. And if all of this means nothing to you, that is okay too. But I'm certain that some of you already have a couple of mechanics in mind for their game that they want to feel a certain way, and I can't wait to see what you are all creating. So yeah, thank you very much.
Oh.
Cool.
Masha, if you're going to give the talk again in your list of feelings, emotions, it should also be the feeling when you launch something and you also realize you're launching your smartphone together with it, you know?
That's emotion.
Here's the
at
water,
play.
and then, oh, my phone as well. While it flies, and you realize halfway through that it's a good feeling, huh? How did it feel? Let's make games about that. That's how I want games to feel.
At Amaze, everything is possible.
Yes, and for sure. At this point of the Hyper Talks, we were supposed to have a presentation from Palestinian Voices in Games, who also gave yesterday a longer presentation on the other stage. Unfortunately, the planned speaker for today doesn't feel too well, so we won't have a Hyper Talk from them. That being said, I still highly recommend you to check out this initiative, which is supporting current and emerging Palestinian indie game developers in the production of their games. It's a network of diverse international game professionals volunteering their time, work, and expertise to make these projects a reality. You can find more info at palestinian-voices-in-games.com. You can also scan the QR code, and also you can find some flyers around the festival that you can pick up. Yeah, that's it. We're getting closer to the end. Now we have one more talk and one bonus talk content. More about that in a second. Yeah. So there is another cool initiative. It's called GAIN, Game Arts International Network. Some of you might know it. Initiated by Jim Munro a few years ago, and now collaborating with a bunch of other cool people. One of the main activities of the GAIN, of the network, is Gaia, which is the Game Arts International Assembly, an event taking place annually, but 1 year is online and 1 year is in person. And I had the pleasure of taking part in 2019 in the edition in Buenos Aires, Argentina, where I had I was lucky to meet this cool person called Bruno Martinez. And and Bruno Martinez, I remember he stayed with me because I remember he was running back in the day a co-working space in Terra del Fuego, what did they say, end of the world? The beginning of everything, yeah. But I was thinking end of the world, or it could be the beginning of, yeah, it's at the beginning, okay. And Bruno, he reached out. It was cool to know a couple of weeks ago that it was coming to Amaze. So I asked Bruno, do you want to give a talk, hyper talk? And he was like, yeah, sure. Can I also have Nicole Coelho give a talk with me? And I was, yeah, sure. Can I also have Tosi come and give a talk with me? Yeah, sure, let's everybody. And but then he was like, yeah, we're still gonna talk, all of us, but in 5 minutes, the three of us. And I said, sure, do it, and can't wait. So let's give them a big applause.
Just a second to take this off. That's it. Aguanta Argentina, for all the Argentinians watching, and Viva Perón. You will understand that later. Okay, so here we go. Okay, do we have to give play? Chat loops. 5 minutes, we can do it in 90 seconds. So here's 3 chat loops for you, the famous format we're going to have. You have the counting there. Nicole, Tosi, and I will give a talk.
Hello everyone, I'm Tosi, I'm a game designer and producer, and together with my friend Foster, we're making a game called Thistle Roots. It's a game about a fictional Bolivian family. For some time now, for some years, there's been a debate in Argentina about what's the essence of a Latin American video game or an Argentinian video game. And some other people have resorted to representing Asian civilizations, which is very cool to have Latin American civilizations too. And others resort to common traditions like mate. But for us, we didn't feel that these sorts of games represented us. And we thought, what's our essence, what's our identity? And we thought about our families and all the anecdotes that they told us. And we wanted to make a game about that. So Thistle Roots is a narrative game, I already said that, where you can, you see 3 different scenes in those are 3 different generations, 3 different moments in time. And each scene depicts a conversation with different members talking about anecdotes from the family. And then as you branch through the different nodes. Some of them take you to a completely different moment in time, and I ran out of time, so if you want to give feedback on my game, just scan the QR, and thank you very much. That's all I can say. Bye.
Hi, I'm Lisa Delizar, and she's Nicole, organizer of FIFA, the Argentinian Indie Games Festival. We are going to talk about curating game dev talk in a naive way. FIFA is an event that celebrates video games as cultural, political, and collective expressions. It's a space for indie projects and for building community. We believe in the power of trusting the community. That's why we create a new way to select our talks. We ask the community to propose and vote the topic. No questions asked. No descriptions, no name, just titles and ideas. Because famous names are chosen more often, and we want to hear the and her. This way, we open a space for bold talks and first-time speakers, a real exchange between the community and us as organizers. If you are interested in attending FIFA as a speaker or to participate in any way, we'll be announcing all the details in our social media. Scan the QR and reach out.
Okay, I'm from there. We're here. Nobody cares about there unless UK, fuck colonialism. I made a game jam there. 40 people went. It's like, okay, the game community can be here. No education, no industry. And I made a co-working space called Puerto Global. Oh my God, it looks so beautiful. We made a lot of things. We made events, game jams, escape rooms. We made a lot of things for community and youngsters there. Like this, we made oh my God, board game nights. We have fried chicken, game jams, and a lot of young people that never, ever knew that games can be done were doing their first experiences in games in the world's ass. Like Lorenzo said, okay, it didn't work, okay? It's so hard. I was here in the other iPod talker. No, nothing is going on there, and it's super hard. People is we were dumped by actually the government and the factories there because they gave free food and good salaries. And well, thing is, it did work actually. A lot of people tried their first game. I saw first-time game developers playtesting the passion project. And, well, this says, it's so glad you came, and I'm glad you came here. Thank you. Go to Fija. Oh. Okay.
Do a party now. Party. Okay, party. No, I just want to mention also, yesterday you also gave a talk about the postal games, right? Yes. And I mean, it's worth mentioning that the three of you are going to be in Europe for a bunch of weeks, a bunch of months, okay? Yeah, the three of you. And yeah, but very briefly, because you mentioned this cool project yesterday, and you're going to be around, and you want to, well, you're looking also maybe for places to stay all over Europe. I remember yesterday at the talk, somebody already offered you hospitality in Edinburgh, and maybe, I don't know, maybe tell us briefly, because I mean, it's a good opportunity. There's more people here than yesterday. So.
Okay, another chat loop. Okay. We're going to make an itinerant game jam called Postal Games based on handwriting letters as themes. And we don't know what the letters say, and we're traveling with a bunch of actual paper. And we're going to make a 3-month travel around Europe. We're going to Warsaw, we're going to London and Barcelona to make actually a postal game, and we have potential places to go. I don't have the list here, but we're like 16 places. So if you're going to some of those places, or we can talk outside. We can try to make a jam there, and we wanted to make it in Cologne for Gamescom. That's our last place we want to go. We can't because it's so expensive.
Somebody maybe has free accommodation in Cologne during Gamescom, or cheap.
Please, and that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Last but not least, very last minute edition, very last minute. Ivan Notaros, hey, come. Give an applause. Ivan Notaros sent me the PDF late. Now I'm gonna switch to the thing, like my speaker notes have Ivan Notaros testing my patience. That was me, because really like, and I told, we don't have time, and I said, my great idea was like, you should ask Sauce, because Sauce has half an hour to say fuck AI, and I think he will get the message across in less than 30 minutes. And anyway, good, but now you're here, do it, do your magic. Ivan.
Oh. Thanks so much for Lorenzo for being able to be convinced, because I think this is the only time that I will be able to talk about this. It all started, well, actually, let's say that I haven't been active on social media or making games for the past few months, and this is how it actually started. I'm going to explain why. In November 1st last year, a canopy on the train station collapsed and killed 16 people. And that actually started a big movement, student movement of protests, where all the universities got blockaded in the end. And it spread across the whole nation. And at the end we had, well, at the end, it's still going on. On 15 March, we had like more than 300,000 people on the streets protesting in silence against basically the corruption, because that is the reason why the canopy collapsed. In the meantime, this building exists in Belgrade, and it's called the Student Cultural Center. And this building was also part of the corruption, because for the last 30 years it has been going downhill. There's nothing about culture or students there. And it actually started in 1968 with student protests. This building was given to the students. And this is actually the building where Marina Abramović started her career. And you must know her because, especially Pipin Bar, who is here, needs to know this. I was here at the Maze 2014 when Jon himself hacked Pipin Bar's game about Marina Abramović. And also, it's also a place where the very iconic bands, rock bands, started their careers, because it was like in socialist Yugoslavia, it was the only place where you had this freedom of expression. And during the protest, this is what happened. The students came into the building and blocked it. and said, okay, we are going to do now our own thing and start a culture and a community. And yeah, so the students came in, took over, and completely converted the space into like, now everything is decided by plenary action and direct democracy. And yeah, I came in and I helped with a few things what I'm going to talk about. But yeah, it's completely revived the concerts that are now like commonplace, and they brought back the energy. And there are some talks also happening. I just put this because some guy who had a talk has a background. It's funny. I don't know. And we also restarted the radio. The radio used to be a legendary radio, and we restarted. I helped with setting up the technic part. We have live DJ sets and stuff. And it's online. You can go skc.fm. There's also art installations, everything run by students. And the most important thing is this weekend I came straight from there. The SKC Game Jam happened, the first one. You can even see me there wear a suit, which I never do. And that was a mistake. I didn't feel comfortable at all. And yeah, I did a talk about rigging 3D models super fast, making it live in 20 minutes. We did some talks as well, and yeah, and the Game Jam was a total success. We had 100 people, mostly students, and we even talked about it on the radio. And the guy in the middle, Mikhailo, is the guy who I co-organized the Game Jam with. He put a lot of effort in it. And at the presentations of the Game Jam, we even had a rap battle. I don't know if this is like, this is the first Game Jam with a rap battle. And this is all the people who I'm grateful to that are helping organize all the events in Student Cultural Center. And hopefully, we are planning to make some game exhibition like a maze there. So, thank you.